Happy New Year, everyone. I am so happy that it is finally 2021. I have so many exciting things happening this year, and I cannot wait to share it with you all. I am staying hopeful and putting lots of positive energy out into the world so that we can all have a fantastic year. Let me know what you're looking forward to in the new year by commenting down below. I'd love to hear from you all. In today's video, I will be setting up my 2021 bullet journal. The notebook that I'm using is the Tsuki Moonflower limited edition luxury notebook in the B5 size from Notebook Therapy. I will leave all the details of the notebook down in the description box along with all of the other materials that I used. I chose this notebook because of the beautiful white vegan leather cover with the gold embossing. It just looks so bright and refreshing, which made it the perfect notebook to use for a fresh new year of bullet journaling. So the first thing we are going to do is personalize the cover. I'm grabbing my gold embossing powder and the embossing pen that goes along with it. I also put down a plain piece of paper to catch all of the fallout. So I want to keep things simple and just add a nameplate to the cover. I got this idea from Jenny Journals when she did her 2019 bullet journal setup. I'll link her video down below if you want to check it out. Using the embossing pen, I write Fujo art on the front just below the moon. Then I'm going to take the embossing powder and cover the places where I wrote with the pen. This is the first time I'm actually using my embossing tool, so I'm pressing down on the powder to make sure it has a good hold onto the pen adhesive. Afterwards, I get rid of the excess powder, and to be more precise, I am going in with a brush to get rid of the powder in places where I don't want it. Now it's time to whip out the heat tool. Once it's all warmed up, I go back and forth to melt the powder. Watching this whole process was so satisfying. I can't wait to use this technique again for other projects. Unfortunately, the gold powder didn't end up matching the gold that was already on the cover, but I still think it came out looking really pretty. Now we're getting inside the notebook. We're going to be working on the cover year. So the theme of my setup is super basic. It's these simple leaves on a vine. I think this would be easy enough for anyone to recreate if they wanted. I've already gone and sketched everything out in pencil to make filming the setup a lot easier and faster. So since I put my name on the cover, I thought it would be interesting to cut this portion out and make a sort of Dutch door type thing for the cover year. Here I'm using a cutting board and an X-Acto knife to cut out the circle. It was actually really difficult to get a nice smooth curve on the circle. Once the circle is cut out, I'm going in on the inside page with my Dollar & Ronnie acrylic inks in indigo and gold shimmer. I did a few tests with different watercolor to see which ones worked best on this paper, and acrylic inks had the best pigment payoff. These pages are thick 160 GSM, but they are not able to handle a lot of water. I didn't end up using much water for these spreads, but the pages still buckled a bit, but it was expected. I'm just glad that there was no ghosting or bleeding. After filling the circle with the indigo color with a size 12 round brush by Royal and Land Nickel, I let it dry completely. Here you can see some of the buckling I mentioned earlier. I then go in with the gold shimmer paint to paint in the leaves around the edge of the circle. I'm using a very fine Princeton round brush. I use the same gold color to write out 2021 as well. This whole idea was inspired by a recent video by Shada Campbell, which I'll also link down below. I think the cover year came out pretty good. I especially like the gold shimmer against the dark indigo blue. On the next pages, we will be setting up my future log. I like to use my future log mainly to keep track of holidays, birthdays and anniversaries, appointments, and school breaks. It actually took me a while to figure out how I wanted the spread to look. I first wanted to try making some intricate borders that were very Art Nouveau-esque, with the gold lines and leaves, but I felt that it would be a tad bit busy once I added in the full calendar. So I told myself to make things simpler and to keep going with the gold leaves over the indigo color. Here I'm using the 03 micron pen to outline the leaves so I wouldn't lose the sketch once I started using the acrylic inks. Once I finish outlining the leaves, I use some washi tape to tape around the leaves so I can later fill this in with the indigo ink. Just be careful with the ink when you're painting near the middle binding because it can definitely leak through to your other pages. It happened to me, but it wasn't too bad. I also found that when you're working with this type of paper, it is best to move pretty quickly if you want a more even wash of color. Since the paper is uncoated, you don't really have the ability to lift the paint and move it around like you would on normal watercolor paper. It's always so satisfying yet super nerve-wracking when pulling up the washi tape. You never know if the tape will pull up the paper or not. So the process for pretty much all of the spreads are the same, with the gold leaves overlaid on the indigo blue background. It was very simple but was also very time consuming painting each individual leaf, not to mention having to wait for the paint to dry. Thankfully I was able to use the heat tool that I used earlier to help with the drying time, but I cut those clips out to make the video shorter and more concise. Now I'm using these calendar stickers that I purchased from an Etsy shop called Journal Here and There. I'm using stickers because I am terrible at writing numbers. Also, my hand was already hurting pretty bad from painting all those leaves. You can see that I am using my X-Acto knife to help me peel the stickers. I don't know what it is, but the stickers were impossible to peel the backings. I have a feeling it might be the type of sticker paper that was used because I have the same issue when I make my own stickers using the online labels sticker paper. Or it could just be the fact that they are die cut stickers and not kiss cut stickers. I very much prefer kiss cut stickers. It makes using stickers way more manageable. On the next spread, which is my 2021 vision board, I decided to do a full border around the whole spread, as if my hand wasn't already cramping. I won't explain the process because it's the same as before. I'll just let you enjoy watching and listening to the lo-fi beats. I'm actually really glad that I chose to use a B5 size notebook this year. I don't think I could have fit this thick border into an A5 size notebook. At this point, my hand was getting pretty tired, so when I was filling in these leaves, some of them were kind of messy. So instead of titling this spread my 2021 vision board, I just wrote Manifest It instead. This was inspired by the song Just Like Magic by Ariana Grande. I'm a huge fan of her music, and her current album Positions have been on repeat since it was released back at the end of October. So here we are finally at the last spread. This is even more basic than the other spreads. I decided to opt out of the indigo ink and just go with the gold leaves. On the left side, I will be printing out my weekly schedule for work and school. And on the right side, I will be making checklists for things I need to do before graduation this upcoming spring. And I also want a checklist for things I need to do before applying to grad schools. I didn't end up recording the last step to the spread, but I used my Dymo embossing label maker to make all of the headings for each section. As I was flipping through the spreads, I decided last minute that I wanted a goals section. I thought it would fit really well under the cover year, so I'm just using the same indigo ink to letter in goals and to put a few bullet points so that I can fill out later. And that is a wrap for my 2021 bullet journal setup. I think each spread came out really nice, and it makes me excited to start filling them in. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. I am open to any type of constructive feedback. I hope you've enjoyed watching my setup process. Here is the final look of all the spreads. I want to thank all of you for watching and making it to the end. It would mean a lot to me if you would support me by subscribing to my channel. I'm excited to make more videos to share with you all. Thank you again and see you next time.